it's Steph, thanks for clicking. This is my second update to Roses Are Red. Kana created this project for the Pantastic Ladies, and it's all Valentine's themed. So she picked 14 quotes relating to love. There are 14 weeks in this project. It started November 8th and will end on Valentine's Day. And your goal is to use each of those 14 things 14 times. At the last update, I was working on 9 prompts. I had rolled in 10 and had met 1 goal. And so today I'm going to go through what I've accomplished in the last month, and I'm going to roll in the last 4 products in order to get the 14. The first quote I was working on is, "Who being loved is poor," Oscar Wilde. A drugstore product you love more than an expensive one. And so in this case, it's not even a drugstore product, it's a lip balm. I like the cheap lip balms that I can just throw in a bag and I can lose and I don't really care. And this is promotional. I got it from my former dentist, and it's in a spearmint type of flavor. At the last update, I'd used this 10 times, and now I do have all 14. I had kept this in my gym bag, so in order to use this, I had to go to the gym. And so it was a little bit of extra motivation that way. Next I have enough courage to trust love one more time, and always one more time. Maya Angelou. And that's something you would always repurchase. And I have this Urban Decay Ultimate Ozone Primer. It can be used on either your lips or your eyes or your face. It's meant to be multi-purpose. I usually use it on my lips to help my lipstick last a little bit longer, which it really does depending on what I'm eating. My goal was to use this 14 times. I have now hit 14 uses, so I have met my goal on this as well. Then there was, "Love starts as a feeling, but to continue is a choice, and I find myself choosing you more and more every day," Justin Wedge. And for that I was using the Han Skincare Cosmetics Lip and Cheek Tint in the shade Coral Hibiscus. The idea behind this prompt is it's something that you loved over time as you used it, and that's the case with this. When I first got it, I don't think I really cared for it. I think it felt kind of dry originally, but as I used it, and I think the oils from my face mixed with it, I liked it better. At the last update, I had used this, I believe it was 11 times, and I'm now at my 14 uses, so goal met on this quote as well. The last one I had at the intro was, "Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired," Robert Frost, and that's something you just had to have. And I just had to have this Smashbox Cali Contour palette. I didn't have an all-over face palette. I had a blush palette, I had a highlighter palette. While I had all of those things individually, I felt that I wanted them all in one place, even though that's completely unnecessary. And I do really like this palette. I had used it 7 times at the last update, now I'm up to 11. I do have 3 more uses to go. I do particularly like this blush down here, and Smashbox doesn't seem to make individual cheek products at all, but if they did, I would recommend that particular blush. But I am glad I have this, and I will be using this 3 more times over the next month. The first quote I brought in at the last update is my favorite in this project. It's, "Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same," Emily Bronte. And that is a dupe product, and I have this LOC one and done eyeshadow stick. It's a dupe for the Caviar sticks, and this would be equivalent to the shade Rose Gold. My goal, of course, is to use this 14 times. I only have 4, so I might be in a little bit of trouble with this one. I would really like to meet my goal on my favorite quote, so we'll see how I do over the next month. Next, "You might not have been my first love, but you were the love that made all my other loves irrelevant," Rupi Kaur. And this is a product that replaced a Holy Grail. It replaced a Holy Grail in that this was more accessible at the time than what I wanted to buy. And it's the Intelligent Nutrients Refining Micro Polish. It's a face exfoliant. I generally exfoliate twice a week. As of right now, I've used this 8 of the 14 times. This isn't really what I expected it to be. I was thinking that this was similar to the Vasanti one, and it's not. There's not all that many particles in it, so I'm not sure how effective it is as an exfoliant in that regard. I still can use it, it still works fine, and it's also more of a creamy texture. It's not like exfoliation in a cleanser, it's a little bit more like exfoliants in a moisturizer, but you do wash it off when you're done. So it is very creamy, and that's very interesting to me, but I will continue using this. The next quote is, "I have no notion of loving people by halves. It is not my nature," Jane Austen. And that is something that you love with your whole heart. For me, it's the Beauty Crop PBJ Smoothie Stick Creamy Lip Crayon in the shade Guava Nice Day. I do really like this color, and I've used this 9 times out of the 14 so far, so I will keep working on this and I should hit my goal. Then I have "Love is the Whole Thing. We are only pieces," Rumi. That one is a palette, and I picked the Ace Beauté Serenity palette, my love themed palette. It's already in Throwback 30, so I went with my peace themed one instead. and I have used this 12 times over the last month. I am wearing shades out of here today. I'm wearing Zen, Relax, and Earth. So I will have just 2 more uses on this palette, and I will meet my goal on this for sure for the finale. The last one I was working on is The Art of Love is Largely the Art of Persistence, Albert Ellis, and that's something that was previously in a project pan. And for Clue Special Panning Edition, I had worked on the True and Luscious Angel Eyes eyeshadow base primer in the shade Dark Nude. This is darker than my skin, so I can only really wear this when I'm wearing a bit of a deeper eye look. And I was really in the mood for that apparently over the last month, because right now I'm wearing this for the 14th time. So I have gotten my usage goal for this product as well. I am going to roll in the last 4 products. Since I do only have a month to work on them, the goals might be a little bit easier to meet, but I'm sure you can understand. The first prompt is, I love her and it is the beginning of everything. F. Scott Fitzgerald. And that's a base or primer product. And I have this Ella Luz Illuminating Face Primer, and this is the shade Beamer. And I haven't used this yet, but I'm going to be using this 14 times, and we'll see how I like it. There is the second Oscar Wilde quote in this project, and that is, never love anyone who treats you like you're ordinary. And so you're supposed to pan something that's extraordinary. And I picked this NYX Glitter Primer. This does do a really great job with shimmer shadows, and for the price especially, so I do consider this to be extraordinary, and I will be using it 14 times. The giving of love is an education in itself, Eleanor Roosevelt, and that's something that you learn to use through a new technique or use. I didn't like contouring until I started underpainting, and I was a little bit ahead of the curve on underpainting, but I like it better underneath a powder foundation as opposed to on top of a foundation. And so for that, I'm actually going to bring in the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer sample. This is in the shade NY11. It is darker than my skin tone. I can't use it as a concealer, but I will use it as a contour. So I am repurposing a concealer. I will also be using it with a technique that I had to discover in order to like contouring in general. Fittingly, the last quote is, true love stories never have endings, Richard Bach. And that's a product that never seems to end. I feel like I've been using this Glow Recipe Plum Plump Hyaluronic Serum for a very long time. I've probably had this open for close to a year and been using it on and off, and in general I feel like I have a ridiculous number of serums. I seem to get a lot of serum samples, they come in bundles, and I think I'm accumulating serums faster than I'm using them. But I'm going to be using this one 14 times and get it a little bit closer to empty. So there's my update. I hope this project is going well for all of you. Good luck in meeting all 14 of your goals, and have a good month. Bye.